On the Singer Simple 3223 sewing machine, when it's brand new, the accessories are stored in the little accessory case. When you pull it off, this is where you can have the free arm part of the machine. So let's just open this up and go through some of the items that come with it. Now there's a little pouch of accessories, but then there is one more thing, the white item. This is a buttonhole foot. Remember, you have a 4-step buttonhole that we can do, so we'll do a video on all these feet so you know how to use them, how to put them on. Like, does this go this way or does it go that way? All right. So in this little accessory bag, usually once I open it, I just kind of let everything kind of run loose. That's no problem. Maybe make yourself a little bag to keep your accessories in. So let's talk bobbins first. So first off, bobbins are specific for the machine. So if you have bobbins from an older machine or a different brand of machine, they might not fit. But I will tell you, this is one of the most common size of bobbins that are available. It's called a Class 15, but you want the plastic one. So make sure if there's metal options, you don't get the metal one. The plastic ones are what this machine is set for. Metal ones are heavier, so that would be set for a different weight. So make sure that you always have the right bobbin in the machine. There's just some basic things that if you do correctly, a sewing machine will work. If you don't do it correctly, well, not so much, and then you have more headaches than you bargained for. We do have, I mentioned we have a buttonhole foot. We also have a button sew-on foot. So we'll show you how you can sew buttons back on with this machine. There is also a zipper foot. Notice it actually has 2 places to attach. So you either attach it on the right or the left, depending on what side of the zipper you're actually traveling on. This is actually a screwdriver, so you can use it to take the needle in and out if you need a little help with that. It's also best to use it to take this throat plate off and clean underneath that. Yes, I said clean. You have to clean and oil this machine. There is not oil in this accessory bag, so you do want to pick some up at a local sewing machine store. And right over here, we'll click over to the cleaning video. So once again, keep that handy. There's also, oh wait, a cleaning brush. So there's a brush, but if you open it up, it's also a seam ripper. Usually I'll just take it and put it back on its end, and then that way it's a little longer, easier to rip things out. So that's 2 accessories in one. Needles. We'll talk a lot about needles and cleaning throughout these videos. So there's just a little pack of needles. We do have a complete list of needle information up at this playlist where we go through different types of needles for different fabrics, different thicknesses of thread. Here's a note about needles. You can purchase any sewing machine needle. They don't have to say Singer on it. That's just the brand name. It's okay. So there's other brands of needles out there, whatever you can get your hands on. If it says home sewing machine, they will fit. And they come in a variety of sizes and different points. Some are sharp points, some are ball points for like knits. So again, make sure you always have a new needle in the machine, and then also one that is correct for the thread and fabric you are choosing. There's some spool caps. Spool caps are going to help, so when we put the spool on the machine, so right up here, it's going to slide on. This is going to match up. So for example, on this larger spool, I'm going to put the bigger spool cap on. Make sure you put it on without a gap. And then there's also a smaller one for spools that have a smaller end. We're also going to talk about quality of thread. If you've got 30-year-old thread from Grandma's Sewing Box, it's probably not going to work the best. These machines require good thread. So treat yourself, buy some new thread, and it will make a difference when you start start with your sewing. This is actually a cover for the feed dog. So if you've ever heard people say, I lower my feed dogs, on this machine it's more of a cover. They don't lower, but they are out of commission because they are not touching your fabric. So like if you're doing free motion quilting or you're doing anything that, sometimes I might even do it when I sew buttons on, but there's lots of things that sometimes I don't want the teeth pulling against my fabric, so we cover it up. Next is a seam guide. I actually really appreciate that they put this in the accessory box. The seam guide is going to slide in. There's a little hole back here that it slides in, and you can set it for the distance of the seam that you are sewing. So if you need it to be, say, 2 inches away from your needle or 1 inch or right up at close, this is a great way. It's like training wheels for sewers. It helps keep everything straight. You can also keep in mind that there are lines on this throat plate, and you can use those to keep your seam allowances accurate. Now, there are other accessories that you can get for this machine, so I would advise that you visit Singer's website and you can look for other items. So we have everything from a hemmer feet, overcasting feet, blind hem, walking foot, 1/4 inch foot, a gathering foot, darning foot, and that one's an overcast foot. There's also a vertical spool pin that can be placed on this machine if you're using 2 threads, like a twin needle would require 2 threads. So check out your manual. That is included here, and you can see other accessories that can help expand this machine. So let's get into actually the threading and winding a bobbin on the Singer Simple sewing machine.